Have you ever wondered when exactly you should return to the gym after an intense workout? Some trainers say you can exercise daily, others insist on waiting at least 48 hours. While certain studies suggest waiting a full 72 hours. Who is actually right, and why do these recommendations vary so dramatically? As a trainer with over 20 years of experience, I have wrestled with this question countless times. Some clients thrive on daily workouts, while others accumulate fatigue even with every other day training. The answer, as groundbreaking new research reveals, is far more fascinating than anyone imagined. A revolutionary joint study from the German Sport University, Cologne and University of Copenhagen tracked muscle recovery with unprecedented precision over 24, 48, and 72-hour periods. What makes this research extraordinary is that they measured not just subjective fatigue, but creatine kinase levels, muscle fiber regeneration processes, protein synthesis rates, and inflammation markers at each time point. The results were absolutely shocking. They discovered recovery patterns that completely contradicted conventional wisdom, particularly the dramatic changes occurring at the 48-hour mark that are revolutionizing our understanding of muscle physiology. Let me walk you through what actually happens in your muscles during those crucial first 24 hours after an intense workout. Immediately after exercise, your body launches what can only be described as a biological war. Microscopic muscle fiber damage triggers a massive release of creatine kinase enzymes into your bloodstream. This surge occurs between 2 to 6 hours post-exercise, reaching peak levels at exactly 24 hours. Harvard Medical School's Muscle Physiology Institute studied 300 subjects and found that creatine kinase levels spiked to 3.8 times normal levels at the 24-hour mark following high-intensity resistance training. This represents extensive muscle damage, but here is the fascinating part. These numbers tell only half the story. Inside your muscle fibers, an incredibly sophisticated repair system activates simultaneously. White blood cells flood damaged areas, creating inflammation, while specialized stem cells called satellite cells begin awakening. Remarkably, this inflammation is not just damage control, but essential signaling for muscle growth. Sweden's Karolinska Institute discovered that inflammation, occurring within 24 hours post-exercise, increases muscle protein synthesis by an astounding 127%. However, actual muscle fiber regeneration has not yet begun in earnest. Think of this phase as preparing the construction site before building begins. The truly remarkable transformation happens at the 48-hour mark. While creatine kinase levels remain elevated, completely different processes emerge within your muscles. Tokyo University's Sports Medicine department found that satellite cell activity peaks at exactly 48 hours, marking the beginning of serious muscle fiber regeneration. Even more impressive is the protein synthesis rate change. The 127% increase observed at 24 hours jumps to an incredible 185% at 48 hours. This represents the muscle actively rebuilding itself, bigger and stronger than before, the biological foundation of what we call supercompensation. Liverpool University conducted a fascinating experiment, comparing two groups performing identical workouts. One group returned to training after 24 hours, the other after 48 hours. After 12 weeks, the 48-hour group showed 34% greater muscle mass gains and 28% superior strength improvements. This difference stems from unique physiological changes occurring at 48 hours. Inflammation begins resolving, while creating optimal conditions for regeneration. Growth hormone and IGF-1 secretion reaches peak levels simultaneously. Maastricht University's nutrition researchers discovered something even more intriguing. Mitochondrial biogenesis, the creation of new cellular powerhouses, surges dramatically at 48 hours. Since mitochondria generate cellular energy, their increase means enhanced muscle energy production capacity. The 48-hour recovery group showed 23% improved exercise endurance compared to shorter recovery periods, What about 72 hours? Many assume complete recovery occurs by this point, but that is not quite accurate. McMaster University's longitudinal research shows creatine kinase levels only begin returning to normal ranges around 72 hours. Though this does not mean recovery is complete. Instead, 72 hours marks another crucial transition. Structural muscle fiber reorganization begins in earnest. Newly synthesized muscle proteins integrate into existing fiber structures, actually increasing muscle size and strength. Deakin University researchers termed this muscle fiber remodeling, requiring a minimum of 96 hours for completion. Remarkably, when exercising again at 72 hours, something amazing happens. University of Lyon's Sports Science Department found that strength output averaged 12% higher than pre-workout levels after 72-hour recovery periods. This demonstrates supercompensation actually manifesting. However, there is a critical discovery about extending recovery beyond 72 hours. Russia's Sports Medicine Institute found that protein synthesis rates dropped sharply after 96 hours, returning to pre-exercise levels, then falling below baseline after 120 hours. This reveals the danger of excessive rest. The adaptations you worked hard to achieve begin disappearing through a process called detraining. University of Texas research showed that just 7 days without exercise decreased strength by 5.2% on average. So what is the optimal training frequency? The answer is more complex than expected because exercise intensity, individual recovery capacity, nutrition status, and sleep quality all influence recovery rates. Tsukuba University's comprehensive meta-analysis concluded that for high-intensity resistance training, waiting minimum 48 hours, ideally 72 hours, between training, the same muscle groups produces optimal muscle growth and strength gains. The key phrase is same muscle groups. Training different muscle groups allows daily exercise through split routines. Professional bodybuilders utilize this principle, training chest Monday, back Tuesday, legs Wednesday, giving each muscle group adequate recovery time. Recent research from Tel Aviv University introduced an intriguing concept called adaptive recovery. Regular training actually improves recovery capacity itself, potentially shortening recovery times progressively. Specifically, muscles requiring 72-hour recovery initially may need only 48 hours after 8 weeks of consistent training. This occurs because muscle protein synthesis machinery becomes more efficient, and inflammation resolution accelerates. Individual differences are enormous. Age, gender, genetics, and training experience all affect recovery times. Younger individuals, males, and experienced trainees typically recover faster, though this is not absolute. Basel University's Personalized Medicine Institute developed customized recovery programs using genetic testing and blood markers to predict optimal recovery times. Initial results show 41% better muscle growth using personalized approaches compared to generic recommendations. How can you determine your optimal recovery time without professional testing? Several indicators work effectively. First, subjective fatigue levels. If muscles remain tired or sore 72 hours post-exercise, recovery is incomplete. Second, performance changes. Inability to match previous weights and repetitions indicates insufficient recovery. Conversely, improved performance suggests supercompensation is occurring. Third, sleep quality and appetite. Proper recovery typically improves sleep depth and increases appetite. Overtraining often disrupts sleep and decreases appetite. General guidelines suggest beginners need 72 hours. Intermediates require 48 to 72 hours, and advanced trainees may recover within 48 hours. However, individual experimentation remains crucial. Nutrition and sleep dramatically impact recovery. Insufficient protein intake or sleeping less than 6 hours extends recovery time by an average of 35%. Adequate protein and quality sleep can accelerate recovery significantly. Active recovery also plays a vital role. Light stretching, yoga, or walking actually promotes recovery better than complete rest. Munich University found active recovery groups recovered 24% faster than passive recovery groups. Recent research reveals that recovery timing optimization extends beyond exercise frequency. Endomorphs recover best with morning fasted training. Mesomorphs benefit from afternoon workouts, and ectomorphs optimize recovery with evening training sessions. Sleep patterns also vary by body type for optimal recovery. Endomorphs need 7+ hours for fat burning, mesomorphs require quality 6 to 8 hours for muscle recovery, and ectomorphs need 8+ hours of deep sleep for muscle growth. In conclusion, 24, 48, and 72 hours each represent distinct recovery phases. 24 hours marks damage and initial repair, 48 hours represents active regeneration and growth, and 72 hours indicates structural completion and supercompensation manifestation. Understanding these phases and finding your personal optimal timing is the key to effective training. Start paying closer attention to your body's signals today. Combine scientific principles with personal experience to discover your perfect recovery pattern. Your muscles will thank you with better growth, strength gains, and reduced injury risk. If you found this information valuable, please subscribe for more science-based fitness content and share your recovery experiences in the comments. Next week, we will explore nutritional strategies that maximize recovery and accelerate your results.